I was born in New York, and my mom and dad moved from New York to New York. I have 3 children, and they're all, one lives in Florida, and I have 2 that live here. Well, you want me to know a little bit more about me? All right, well, baking has been a hobby. I love it. And a hobby, I gave my life to Christ and loved the Lord, and was called to the ministry. So I was called to the ministry, and I was pursuing ministry and just loved it. And I worked for Ross Laboratories, and my coworkers would get cookies at potlucks and say, "Dee, you ought to sell these cookies." I said, "This is a hobby. Nobody's going to buy these. I do it for fun." So one Christmas, I said, "Let me see if people will buy these cookies." I made up a little price list, gave it out. Ended up getting orders for over 5,000 cookies out of my kitchen. It was crazy. I said, "Okay, Lord, I need your help." Now wait a minute, you called me to the ministry, people bought the cookies. What is your purpose for my life? What do you want me to do? Because I can't see how cookies and ministry can work together. I can't see it. And after 2 weeks of prayer, the Lord gave me an answer and told me, He said, "It shall be a blessed cookie company." I was so excited. I said, "Yeah, it's going to be a blessed cookie company. It's going to be blessed." I'm like, "Yes, blessed. Okay, a blessed cookie company. A blessed cookie company. ABC. I said, "I got a name." And I was so excited. I said, "Yes, it's going to be a blessed cookie company." You know, but at that time I was married, and my husband wasn't making enough money to support. I had 4 children, and wasn't making enough to support all of us. And then all of the doubts started coming in. Well, how are you going to do this? You can't do that. All the what ifs of, well, how are you going to do this? And I said, okay. And I kept holding on to my job because I just can't quit and start a business. Lord, I know you called it blessed, but I just can't stop. And I kept holding on to my job. Several months later, after the Lord told me it was going to be blessed, I'm driving home from work, and the Lord asked me a question. He said, "Why are you holding on to $10 an hour when I'm trying to bless you with thousands?" I said, "I don't know. I'm scared. You know, I don't know how we're going to do this." And I went home and I shared it with my husband. He said, "Dee, I don't know." And so he came back a couple of weeks later and he said, "Dee," he said, "I'll stand with you. Come on home." I gave him my 2-week notice at Ross, and I was scared because I didn't know how we were going to do it. And I said, okay. Gave him my notice. The day before I left Ross, the vice president called me in his office and said, "Dee, what are you doing? How are you leaving?" I said, "Well, yeah, I'm going to go start my own cookie business." And he said, "Listen," he said, "okay." And he asked me what I was going to do. I told him, I'm trying to do the best I can. It's starting and learning everything about business. And he said, "You know what, Dee, I want to help you out." He gave me a year's contract to supply 4 Ross Lab cafeterias with cookies when I walked out the door. But you know what? I'm excited about that, and I encourage other people. I said, you know what? I could still be sitting in that chair today, at that desk. I said, "Lord, you called it blessed, but when are you going to bless me?" He said, "No, when are you going to move? When are you going to move?" And when I walked out the door, a contract did not miss 1 dime of income. And it was so blessed. I got a home bakery license. They would call in the orders, and we would deliver them 3 days a week to Ross. And it was so awesome. It was just blessed. And I said, "God, you're faithful." And one of the things I had to learn through all of this is not to listen to everybody and what they have to say. I went to places to get information on how to start a business because I didn't know. And I had people tell me, change the name. Don't name it a blessed cookie company. You have a good product, but you're going to limit your market. Only religious people are going to buy from you. And when these people told me that, my only answer was this: my word says, "Except the Lord build a house, all of my labor is in vain." So I'm going to stick with what he said, okay? Thank you very much for your help. That's just the kind of determination I had because I had his word. And we had that year's contract. Things went great. But after that year, I got a call from the food services manager, and he said, "Dee, I need you to sell me cookies for $2 a dozen." I said, "Gee, I can't do that and make money." He said, "Well, we're going to have to find someone else." And Ross was the largest contract we had. We had them in a couple of different restaurants and things, but not like the Ross contract. And I said, okay. We went through a season of laughter that was really crazy. It was almost made me quit. But I would go to church and people would say, Dee, how's the business going? I said, you know what, pray for it. Things are going a little crazy right now. And they said, well, Dee, got to the point they had, after I finished asking them to pray for me so many times, they said, Dee, why don't you, maybe God didn't tell you it was going to be blessed. Maybe it was you that wanted to, go out and do this. And I said, no, the Lord said, it shall be a blessed cookie company. And I kept holding on to that word. And I remember our gas bill was behind one time, and I was crying, saying, Lord, how? I called my mom, and I said, Mom, our gas bill's behind, and just looking for encouragement. Mom said, baby, the Lord wouldn't have your bills behind. I said, Mom, at this point, I don't know what he would have, but the only thing I know is he said, it shall be a blessed cookie company. I remember one time in front of that, and I was crying before God. I said, Lord, how are we going to start a business? I said, our credit's going down the drain, everything, but you said it was going to be blessed. My family thinks I've lost my mind because I'm saying something you said and you didn't tell anybody but me. And the Lord asked me a question. He said, how long has it been since you quit your job? I said, well, I counted, said, well, it's been 2 years. And he told me, he said, don't allow the enemy to cause a spiritual abortion of your blessing. I said, whoa, spiritual abortion? Lord, what's that? He said, at the time I called that company blessed, he said, that's when your blessing was conceived. He said, but your faith is the umbilical cord that holds it in place. And as you know, an abortion is elective. You choose to give it up. I said, all right. I got my word. I'm holding on to delivery. I don't care what anybody else has to say. Father, you called it blessed, so I'm going to stand on what you said. We're selling cookies at my son's baseball games, trying to make money, just anywhere, just trying to get some money coming in. And I met a girl who, she said, Dee, why don't you have you checked out this place in the convention center? I said, girl, we can't afford the rent downtown. I mean, downtown, the rent's crazy. And she said, well, okay. She said, well, I just wanted to let you know about it. I said, okay, well, I went to a women's retreat through Raymond, and there was a lady there named Rev Evelyn Spencer Carter. We called her Rev Ev. She was from California. And I wanted to talk to somebody that had walked in the things of God, that was seasoned in the faith. And I went to her room after one of the services, and I got ready to walk out, and she said, Dee, do you have your equipment yet? And I said, no, ma'am, I don't. She said, the Lord told me to tell you, when you feel his anointing, go get it. He's going to pay for it. And I'm thinking, okay, all right, yeah. It's like, okay, I don't know how we're going to do this. Selling cookies at my son's baseball games. And my friend said, Dee, have you checked out the convention center? And I said, no, I haven't done it yet. And I was afraid to hear no. So one day I got up enough nerve to call the convention center, and a lady answered the phone, and I said, hi, I'm calling to inquire about space. And she said, just a minute. Transferred me to Bill Lilliman. He's the CEO of the convention center. And I shared with him, Mr. Lilliman, I have a small business. I've been working out of my home for 2 years. And I said, my credit right now is not the greatest, but somebody told me we had space. And he said, you make peanut butter cookies? And I'm thinking, huh? What's that have to do with space? I said, yeah, I make peanut butter cookies. He said, well, bring me a dozen and we'll talk. And I brought this man 2 dozen peanut butter cookies. And he said, these are great. Took me downstairs to the food court and showed me a space in the food court that had been vacant for 4 years. They couldn't get anybody to lease it out. You know why, don't you? I'm not going to go there, but anyway. Went in, all of the equipment was in the store. It was a cookie store previously. Ovens, mixers, refrigerator, everything that I needed to start my cookie business was right there in the store. The only thing I had to do was buy signage and get started. And that was the beginning of the vision of the word of Blessed Cookie Company. So awesome, because we met a lot of people from all over the world, with people coming in and out from conventions. So, met a lot of people. Most of my lunch traffic was nationwide. I was coming across the street, coming in for lunch and getting cookies. And I had a chance to meet a lady who was in property, and she called me one day and she said, Dee, would you be interested in a space at Nationwide? And I'm thinking, oh. I said, well, let me come over and look at it and see what it looks like. And, you know, I'm playing the business role. Let me look at it, see if it has what I need, because I make everything from scratch. So I need a place for my mixers, I need a dough retarder, I need a refrigeration space. So I came over and looked at this space here, and I said, there was nothing, no ovens or any equipment. I said, well, what I've got to do is check with my bank and see if I can get a loan to get the equipment I need to get started. And she said, well, okay, well, let us know. And I said, okay. So I was calling the bank trying to get information, and I get a phone call 2 days later and said, Dee, do you want the space? And I said, well, yes, I do. I've got to get equipment. You know, I told you I was checking with my bank. And they said, well, we were talking to someone about you, and they told us to tell you to go make a list of all the equipment you need, and they're going to pay for it. And I lost it. I said, you're kidding. I said, no, go make a list. I broke down and I cried. I said, Lord, okay, you're faithful. I went on this shopping trip, and it was the scariest shopping trip. You would think it would be fun because I had an open book, go get what you need, but I didn't know how to handle blessings. I guess that's what I'll say. I didn't know how to handle the blessing because I'm looking at high-end equipment and low-end equipment, and what do I get? I don't want them to think I'm greedy because I didn't get a budget, and so I was like, how do I do this? So I ended up getting the equipment that I need. I said, Lord, you open this door, I'm just going to get what we need. So I got all of the equipment, came up to about $28,000. And I came back and I said, I hope they don't think this is too much. You know, I'm thinking all this going through my mind, gave it to them. They came back to me a couple days later with a check and said, here, go get what you need. And as soon as you get all of your equipment in place, we can start the lease. And you look around and see, behold, what the Lord has done. With all of the things we have here, I've been here now for 14 years and 20 years in business. I make cookies from scratch. I love baked goods. Cookies, make 15 different types of cookies. I make coffee cake. McDonald's was in this building at one time and they closed, and so people was always looking for breakfast at McDonald's. So I said, what can I come up with that has everything McDonald's had? The hash browns, the meat, the eggs. And so I came up with a breakfast casserole that has everything in it. And I featured and changed the meats every week. One week we have sausage and cheese, one week we have bacon and cheese and ham and cheese, and then we do the turkey and the veggie casserole, and it's a big hit around. Looking for wisdom on how to take ABC to the next level and what to do. And with the new contracts coming up, I'm going to need some help here. People that have a heart for the vision. And I've learned over the years that you're not going to find, no matter who you hire, no one's going to have the same heart for your vision as you do. And it's a job to try and find people that have even half of a heart for your vision. But when you do find one, you hold on to them and you reward them for it. I'm looking to expand. I've been blessed with some bids to provide cookies, and so I'm looking now to open up a wholesale division of ABC to have cookies, and I'm going to speak this in all of the Subway stores and all of the Starbucks, coffee shops, all of these places. I plan on ABC being a blessed cookie company, and I'm excited about it. And I just want to tell anybody that's out that's trying to make it, don't give up on God. What He says, He'll perform it, and He'll do it. I'm a living witness. Nobody has to teach me or tell me because I've lived it and watched Him. And He's no respecter of persons. He did it for me, He'll do it for you too. I'm Dee Tolbert of A Blessed Cookie Company, and thank you for sowing the seed.
Love rain down, love rain down, love.